first English song that I ever heard was Boulevard of Broken Dreams. And it's a funny story actually. So I had gone to my father's friend's house, and they also had a child, a son my age, and he had his mother's phone, and he was listening to this song, and it was the first time ever that my ear lobes or earbuds or whatever you want to call them, they heard what an English song sounds like. And I was intrigued, and I was like, "Fuck, this is good." So I asked him, what is this song? Like, which movie is this from? That was
Right.
my first question because, obviously, I used to listen to Hindi music, Bollywood music, and to me at that time, songs were always supposed to be a part of a movie. Like, there's no song without a movie. So I asked him, which movie is this from? And he told me it's not from a movie, it's from a band. So he said band, but I heard the word gang
Mm.
for some reason because band was a word that I had actually never heard in my life before, right? So, but gang was, so I picked it up as gang, and he told me it's an American gang, it's American gang. I was like, fuck, this is good. And I quickly ran down. We were on the second floor, and my parents were on the first floor. Uh, I told my mom, give me your phone, I need to get something. So I took her phone and I switched on Bluetooth, and he taught me, how you transfer songs through Bluetooth, and then basically I took that song into my own. Uh, and I was listening to this. Obviously, after going back home, I was listening to it on my mom's phone, and she's like, "What are you listening to?" So I told her this is from a gang, the kind of people that roam around on the side streets and thugs. It's from American gang called Greenday. But yeah, that's just a funny story of how I came across English music and Boulevard of Broken Dreams in specific. But yeah, what was your introduction to
So,
music like?
yeah, I think interestingly enough, Green Day was the second band that I had heard,
Mm.
the first being Linkin Park. So, I think I was also around like 10 or 11 years old. Unfortunately, I don't really remember how I had heard a Linkin Park song. It was Numb, that I remember. But yeah, all I remember is we had gotten a new sound system at home,
Mm.
and my dad had gone to some store to get music CDs. So he just called me and he was like, "Do you want any CD or anything?" And I just remembered that, okay, I'd heard that song
Mm.
and I liked it so much. So I was like, "Is that Linkin Park?" And he said,
Mm.
"Yeah." And he got me two Linkin Park CDs. And what I did for the next few days is I religiously went through every single song on every single album that was there.
Mm.
Like literally like going through a syllabus. Like I was completely hooked. I loved Linkin Park. I still love Linkin Park.
I
And
still love Linkin Park.
yeah, I mean who doesn't? And yeah, I think Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day was the second, like it was my introduction to sort of like the second band. But yeah, parallelly there was Taylor Swift, Love Story.
Of course.
Not very different from others. Like Love Story is the first song I heard by Taylor
Mm.
Swift. And so now when we want to, know the lyrics of a song, it's very easy. Just Google it and all of that. And I don't know, maybe I was not aware of it back then. It wasn't, you know. So I remember I wanted the lyrics of Love Story,
Mm.
and one of my friends had them. And I was like, can you write it for me? Like, I really need to know the lyrics of this song. Like, I really need to internalize
So
it.
you didn't understand English, and
No, so like, I
you could
understood
understand
it.
what she was saying.
No, I could understand it,
Mm.
but I think there were a few words that I wasn't too sure about. And also, I wasn't sure. So I'd heard Love Story a couple of times, but like you took it on Bluetooth.
Mm.
I didn't know like where to take it from. And yeah, I'm kind of technologically challenged. I've always been. So yeah, I mean, it's not like, I could just go to YouTube and search Love Story and listen to it over and over again and be like, okay.
Mm.
So like I told her, and I remember she wrote it down on a piece of paper for me, and I was like, oh my God.
Later, did you check if she wrote the correct lyrics?
She did. It was the correct lyrics.
I mean, to this day, I think I just make up my own lyrics, and here and there you just make up your own lyrics, something which sounds better to you.
No, the same thing happened with, remember that song, Waving Flag, from the World Cup?
Mm.
So I love that song, and once again, it's like, okay, if I liked a song, I had to know the lyrics. It was that sort of a thing. And I was looking for it. I really don't know why I didn't go on the internet. Once again, probably just extremely technologically challenged. But one of my cousin brothers said, I know this song. Like, I know all of it. I was like, okay, give me the lyrics. And he wrote it down for me. And
And
later I check it. They were not correct. They were absolutely
what
not
what did he mess up?
quite a few things. I mean, unfortunately, I can't remember, but oh my god, like some of those words, they just did not make any sense. Like, absolutely not. But yeah, I think so. We're talking about old songs and new
Hmm.
songs. Uh, so, what I want to know is like, where do you draw that line of old and new for yourself?
I think it's not about old and new. It's just that being an elitist, so to say, or at least I was more an elitist in terms of music back in the day than I am today. But I still have very opinionated outlook views towards it. But I don't think it's about old and new. It's just about what's considered music now versus what real music was back in the day. I know, like all the liberals I want to come and catch my neck for calling something as real music, and but it is what it is, I think. And it's just that I don't know. It's a bit, being a diehard rock and roll fan ever since I heard Green Day song.
Mm.
It pains me, and I mean, I don't know. It makes me sad that state of music today is what it is, and the kind of music that people enjoy. Because music, when you hear the word music, I think if someone asks you, what is the definition of music, I think the first thing that comes to your mind is, something that comes out of a musical instrument,
Yeah.
right? Some sound that comes out of a musical instrument. I think that's the most basic, primal definition of music. But that's not what it is these days, right? I mean, it's just fucking. I don't know how many forms of evolution each whatever is recorded goes through. It's like from one computer to the other computer to some voice changer to something to something to something. It's like probably more levels of evolution than humans, than as we came from Neanderthals. I think the amount of uh, the levels of evolution is probably more
Mm.
in every song, I think, because
Sort of like it's just a bit too refined.
yeah, I don't know. There's nothing. It just doesn't feel like it's raw anymore, right? And I think a lot of it has to do with the kind of lyrics that you hear these
Yeah.
days as well. Looking at bands like Deep Purple, or and I'm not just talking about rock, right? Even if you take people like Bob Dylan or
Mm.
Don McLean, and just listen or just read the lyrics of like a Rolling Stone, or any of the classics, and then compare them to the lyrics of today, right?
Yeah.
Right now it's just like one word, or like one phrase, and which just goes on for the entirety of the song, and that one phrase doesn't even make sense, right? It's all about partying and drinking and just dancing, and I mean that's fine. I mean it's great.
Because there used to be like some great songs where it was like all about partying and
Mm,
drinking and all, but yeah, I mean it's just not that fun anymore. And
mm,
so, like you said, basically, because I feel like because it's so refined to the point where you can't really enjoy the music or feel the music,
yeah.
and also because the lyrics is just so utter bullshit.
Mm,
I'm sorry, I thought I wouldn't do this, but I have to. Charlie Puth attention, where all he does is, you just want attention, you don't want my heart. Like, fine, okay, what else?
mm,
Like, we get it, all right. What else? But no, there's literally nothing else. Whereas, so say like Sir Elton John, when he sings "Can You Feel the Love Tonight," and with the music, with the lyrics, it you can actually feel something.
yeah, I
I
mean
feel like that
I think
feeling
that's
is
what.
missing.
See, whenever something comes out, like whenever something plays, like say on the radio, I mean, that's more figurative than realistic, because it's not. I I don't listen to the radio anymore. But whenever some song comes out, some song comes on which I like, uh, and which is like which has a guitar playing, and which has the drums, which has the bass. It just moves me, it just moves my soul, and I feel like sort of vibing to it. And I feel like bobbing my head to it. I feel like humming the lyrics.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, see, I mean, it's great. Like, of course, if you go to a disco, if you're at a bar, you're not going to listen to Hey Jude, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
of
you're
course.
you're having you're dancing with your friends, whatever, whatever, and you probably want some boom boom stuff, some boom boom shit to play, and that's great. But my problem is that's all there is.
Yeah.
And there are a few bands, I think, the new age bands that are nice, like 30 Seconds to Mars, and that Bleachers, the one that you.
Yeah, so yeah, bleachers, because they do rock and roll, and so that is another thing. There aren't a lot of people doing rock and roll, and much less good rock and roll.
Yeah, I think I mean, it's a dying breed.
Yeah.
And for me, it's not. I mean, obviously, I am a rock and roll fan. Like, I am the biggest rock and roll fan, and that's sort of my creed, uh, my cult tribe, whatever fancy word you want to put to it, whatever woke word you want to put to it. But uh, I mean, I enjoy music. I
Mhm.
enjoy good lyrics, or like a nice guitar riff. Or like a nice drum solo, or something. But it's just so difficult to find
Yeah.
in music of today. And I think,
That's sorry to cut off, but I think that's the main thing, that it's so difficult to find.
mm,
Because I do want to make one case
mm,
for the new age songs. One case, and that's the Lumineers.
mm,
Fantastic. Like, one of those very, very, very few new age artists
mm,
that actually moves me. And in general, I'm not a very emotional person, but
mm,
just very one of those very few artists that actually makes me want to cry. Their lyrics has a story, and that's a beautiful story. Like, that is fantastic. Like, I love their songs. I think they have Sleep on the Floor, Ophelia, Stubborn Love, and I'm forgetting the other one, Cleopatra,
mm,
which it's basically the story of one single woman they met, and it's absolutely fantastic, the way they sing, the lyrics, the music. It's beautiful. But then again, like, I don't know how many people know about Lumineers.
mm.
It's very, very, very
I think
difficult
I
to
think
find.
that's the thing. Like, I don't think it's about people not knowing that there's this kind of music out there. But I think I'm more saddened by the fact that there is music like this, and there is abundance of music like this now, because that's what people want.
Yeah.
That's what people you know, associate the word music to. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like your EDM and your trance and your house, and uh, it's just sad that you can call something which is coming out of a fucking, I don't know, whatever you call that. Like, yeah,
Yeah, the entire
yeah,
console, right? Yeah.
you call that as music. I mean, sure, it has a place, but I mean, don't call it music. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, of course, I know a lot of people, are going to. Okay, the two people that are probably going to watch this video are going to.
One of them are gonna bash me for the Charlie Puth thing, attention thing.
Yeah,
Don't worry, it's a very
but
popular song.
and also, like, if you go to YouTube, right, and you look at any of these music videos, uh, it's just like one or two men, and they're just wearing a lot of bling, and they are just moving their
Yeah.
fucking hands, and you have all these half naked women, sometimes even naked women, just dancing around them, and uh, they just keep fucking playing the chorus and singing the chorus on repeat, on loop, and it just doesn't feel like there's any skill, right? It just feels like they're just trying to sell whatever, they're just making whatever sells the best, and
Yeah.
that's fine. Like, I mean, like, if that's how business works, like, and that's great, but it's just destroying the sanctity of music, if I can
That's the
call
thing.
it
Like,
that.
it cannot be all glitz and glamour and half nude
Yeah,
women
where's the
like
skill,
very
like,
fake.
where's the passion, where's the skill to actually make music, like, something that you can do with your guitar, which, and someone looks at you, and hears you, and you're like, fuck, man, I wish I could do that, or that's so amazing, or
And even the visual part of it, which is like we have way more access to it
Mm,
nowadays, like the visual part of I mean, any music
mm,
basically, which I feel like also has its pros and cons. Because once again, like there are some fantastic artists out there who are
mm,
making beautiful music videos. They're
mm,
actually like they're fantastic.
mm.
But then there are people who are like the one who said it's all glitz and glamour and half naked women, and the lyrics are just like the two same sentences getting repeated for 2 minutes. Music is not making any sense, not making you feel anything. So
Yeah,
then it's like,
I think
what's happening?
that's a good point. Like, I think music now has become more visual than
Yeah,
than auditory, whatever you call hearing in a fancy word. Imagine I'm saying hearing in a fancy word,
yeah,
but yeah, I think it's become more of visual than uh, than that fancy word. But yeah, I think that's what the problem is, and like I don't know where do you draw the line, and it's not like you can do anything about it, right? I mean, that's what people enjoy, that's what people are going to make. Uh, I just have a feeling that like this genre, this is just going to get lost in time, and uh, there's not a lot of people left that that enjoy that kind of music. I mean, just take for so we live in Bangalore, and Bangalore is actually one of the party places in the
yeah.
country, you could say, where a lot of young people are and things like that. And like, so all of last weekend I spent calling I don't know how many bars and pubs, asking them if they had any live music, and live music playing, because I really wanted to go and listen to some live music at a club. And there's nothing, there's only, they either say there's DJ night, or
Yeah.
there's there's some trance stuff. uh, and there was literally, I called 20 or 25 of the best, or 20-25 of the pubs in Bangalore, in southernmost happening places like Kormangla. There's nothing, literally nothing. And that just goes to show it's the sign of the times, I guess. I mean,
Yeah. I think that was Harry Styles. He has a song called
yeah, I
Sign of the
think
Times, I
probably
think.
that's where I remember the face from.
But yeah, it's actually sad because trance, EDM, all of this, it's a plenty.
Mm,
But you want to look for proper music,
mm,
we haven't been able to find anything yet.
mm,
It's very, very, very difficult. Like
mm,
extremely difficult because that's the thing. I mean, I feel like that goes to show how much value
mm.
these type of music have in people's lives nowadays. Where I mean, once again, if they want to enjoy like that, that's fine. But seriously, like that's 97% of it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, see, people are gonna be like, yeah, but that's what life is. It's about change. It's about evolution, and things change and you need to adapt. uh,
Yeah, I don't want to
technology
adapt.
technology and all of that. I mean, I mean, that's true, obviously. Like, in today's time, if you don't know what's AI, if you don't know what's Web3, you're probably living under a rock, right? And you need to know those things to sort of move forward in life.
Move forward, and I
But
feel like make your life and your work easier. But here's the thing, I mean, music was never about that. Music
yeah,
was never
exactly.
about, yes, it was about
No, see,
making your life
that's what,
easier, but
that's what, like, it's not. So music is not about the person making the music, the person singing, or the person playing the drums or the guitar. It's not support. Technology is not supposed. Music is not about having it easier to play the guitar,
yeah,
or having make being it for it to be. It's about a feeling that you want to play it, and you want to explore all the different things that you yourself can do with your two hands and your fingers,
yeah, and the
strumming on the
fact
guitar.
that your
Not what
song,
a computer can help you mix out.
yeah, and
And
your
that's.
song or your music can like make other people feel what you've been feeling, like sort of what poetry or good prose does.
Mm,
It's like, okay, like the author or the poet had something in mind, they've written it down, and thousands and thousands of people can just feel something. Might not be the exact same thing, but they can feel
mm,
something, which I feel once again, like, I feel like music is supposed to move you,
mm.
and that can be move you in any way. Move you like slowly, or if you want to do like, okay, fun stuff, great, but if it's not moving you, then what is it doing?
Yeah, I mean, no, I think instead of us two people who enjoy real music sitting here and having a chat, we should probably get
That's the thing. See, okay. I don't mind making a case for certain new age artists once again. Because, like I said, I love, love, love the Lumineers. I love them. Like, I could probably cry if I see them live. Which is probably something I feel only for Taylor Swift, mother goddess.
Of
But,
course.
but nobody else.
Mm.
And once again, that is the same emotion I feel for so many of the old artists. Like there's Leonard Cohen, there's Sir Elton John, and I think I also told you this one time that I had a dream. Like I fell asleep listening to a Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald song. And I literally had a dream that I am in a pub listening. Hearing them sing live, and I've never had that kind of a dream about any other artist, and I was crying. And of course they are dead, but in my mind I know that if I ever get to see these artists alive, I would fall down to my knees and I would bawl my eyes out. Like I would worship them.
Exactly. See the kind of passion that that is evident from the way you're speaking. That's what music should incite, right? But like, I mean,
That's it, like
but
a G6, like a G6.
yeah,
I
that's
feel
what
like crying.
that like a G6, that fucking song, man. Oh my god.
I feel like crying, but not in the.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing is, it can only incite that kind of passion that you just showed. It can only incite that if if the words mean something,
Yeah.
if the music that you heard it meant something, right? I mean, and it was something which was profound or something which was like okay, then you can just go like, oh, that was fucking cool, like you can just say that fuck, that was good shit. But it's just
Yeah, the new age music doesn't make you feel anything. In fact, today I was listening to a few songs by George Ezra. Once again, new age artist, and I love his voice, by the way, because I have a thing for people with heavy voices, which is why I'm also a big fan of Leonard Cohen. So George Ezra has a fantastic voice, very heavy voice and all, and I love so many of his songs. But to be very honest, it doesn't make me feel that way. Like it doesn't make
yeah,
me feel
exactly.
like
Exactly. See,
crazy.
yeah. So I think I completely understand, what you mean because, so even I'm just trying to think of a band which is probably equivalent to George Ezra for you.
Mhm.
I mean, I can't think of anything right now, but yeah. So exactly as you said, right? I mean, there will be bands that have decent lyrics, and there will be artists that have decent lyrics, and if you hear them coming on somewhere, you'll listen to it and you'll sing along, but it won't like
Yeah,
do something.
it won't do something to you. But
That's what I think. That's what.
whereas, like, to the contrast of that, if I say Frank Sinatra, when I heard Strangers in the Night, and okay, so this is another thing.
Mhm.
It's not like the first time I heard it or the third time I heard it, I was like, oh my god, what a beautiful song. I've heard it hundreds and thousands of times, and I know for a fact that even if I hear that song right now, Strangers in the Night by Frank Sinatra, it still transports me to that place where I'm like, oh my god, like, yes, I want to dance like that, like the way he's describing. I want to dance with my lover like that night. And I'm like, wow. That's the emotion I feel like, like even when they are singing love songs, for example,
Mm.
if you're single, you're probably going to be like, wow, like, okay, is that what's love supposed to be like? Or like, wow, I wish I have a love like that someday.
Mm. Yeah, that's what, right? It might make you sing along and you might think, okay, this is not bad, but
Yeah.
that's what you get. It's not bad. You won't get that emotion that you're looking for because I don't know, listening to music. I mean, actually listening to music is supposed to be an emotional experience, I guess, or something that elevates you, right?
Mm.
Something that makes you feel good, something that something that probably teaches you something about life.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just.
But yeah, let's go back to like rock and roll. I want to know like so.
I always want to go back to rock and roll.
So you said that we were talking about the passion that we feel, right? So what is it, or rather, what do you feel when you listen to, say, a song that you like from an artist that you love?
I mean, I don't know how I can explain this, but let me try. Okay, so imagine Deep Purple, right? So Deep Purple is one of my favorite bands, and God bless my soul. They're also coming to Bangalore.
December,
Yeah,
yes.
to play for the Badlands Festival. So yeah,
With Goo Dolls.
the spirit of rock and roll is not completely dead yet, but I will be seeing them live very soon. We are coming back to your question. So when Smoke on the Water starts playing, right from the get go, right from the dot, you hear the tune, da, 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 da. That just, I don't know, that just incites something in me. And then when the lyrics, when the song actually starts,
Yeah.
we all came out to Mantra on the Lake Geneva shoreline. I mean, it's a story, right? Like, they're
Yeah.
literally narrating a story that
Exactly.
they all came out to Montreux in Switzerland, and some shit went down, and that's what they're talking about. But then when you listen to stuff like a G6, just like a G, I mean, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
I'm okay. That maybe that's a bad example. Just tell me a song which probably I also know, and which is decent and has good lyrics, and I'll tell you what I mean.
Yikes. Let's see. Tell me the name of an artist if you can think of any.
See, that's how bad they are. Can't even come up with that
Oh, that's
on the
bad.
spot.
Oh no. This is really bad.
But yeah, that's how forgettable they are.
No, but okay. Let's say One Direction, and once again, I'm gonna be bashed when I'm saying
Okay,
this.
okay,
But
it's fine. Okay, so One Direction, right? I mean, I like that song. That's what makes you beautiful, and then that other song.
I love
If you
Night Changes.
yeah, Night Changes.
Night Changes, yeah.
Just how fast the night
Yeah.
changes. Now, if that's playing, I will sing it, right? And if the music comes on, I'll be like, okay, nice, this is a
Yeah.
tune. But it doesn't incite that passion in me, like it doesn't
See,
doesn't make me want to stop everything that I'm doing and just listen to the song.
also
Uh,
like Night Changes. So I watched the video as well. Beautiful video, by the way, and even the lyrics. So they are basically talking about taking a girl out on a date and how the night changes or how the night proceeds. Sort of like a love song, but that's the thing. Never made me be like, oh my god, maybe like, okay, what if I'm taking out on a date like that, and some guy's thinking that way about me. Never. Like, it's a beautiful song. I like it. I like listening to it. I like the lyrics. I love the video, but never made me like, oh wow, what if?
yeah, I think it's something that you can't put into words. It's a feeling.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's a feeling, and like there'll always be. I mean, and so when I was younger, I used to hear old people say, oh, this was better in my time. The grass was greener in my time.
I feel
The water tasted like water in my time, and you could break an egg and just drink the yolk raw in my time. And I used to think, what's wrong with these people?
Yeah.
Why? What do they keep saying? They're just fucking old and talking about missing the time when they were younger. And I get that. Even I do that sometimes, and now, because obviously now that I'm older, I do that sometimes. But I feel like with some things, some things are just better, and it's not just an opinion, or it's literally facts, right? I mean,
yeah, because
just
so many of the artists we're talking about, I mean, most of all me, because I've started from the grave. So many of those people are from that time. And when they used to say, oh, well, music used to be better back then,
yeah.
I agree. 100% agree. Like, hands down.
Yeah.
I mean, also, like, there's no depth to the lyrics nowadays. That's another sad thing. I feel like there's absolutely no depth. See, okay, this is also another reason why I love Taylor Swift. Not that I'd ever run out of reasons, but um, I like the way she writes. Like, there's a story. I love that she uses so many metaphors, and there's always that, and her fans always have that thing where, oh my god, is there an Easter egg? Is she trying to say something else? And there's always something, and she's thinking about it. Like, she's said it in so many videos as well.
So tell me this thing. I know that you're a huge Taylor Swift fan, and we went for that concert, not
Yeah.
concert, but the pretend concert for the movie.
Yeah, the Eras Tour
And that
movie,
was
which
great.
was
That
yeah.
was great because everyone was actually acting like they were in a concert. And it was a fun time. But tell me something honestly. So now when you hear Taylor Swift songs, and you being one of the biggest fans of Taylor Swift, uh, does that thing does that thing still happen to you? Like, do you still get that passion? Would you compare it, to say that, okay, this is something that is as good for me as the old music was? Personally, what do what do you think about that?
I think one of the reasons why I love it so much, and so that is another thing where I can keep on listening to her songs. Two reasons. One, I already said the lyrics, right? Uh, I like anything that's well written. Her songs very well written. The second thing is some of her songs, like All Too Well, the 10-minute long song. Yeah, like it does make me feel those things where, so there's this part where she says, where she's recounting things and she says dancing in the refrigerator light. And I love that because like that sort of paints an image in my head, and she's not saying it out directly, but I know that she's talking about a time when she was happy with her lover and they were basically dancing in the kitchen and the lights are off. It's just the yellow light coming from the refrigerator. And like I sort of love that. So yes, like otherwise I wouldn't have been that big of a fan because this about the music matters to me a lot, about how it makes me feel. So yes, there are not all of her songs, but so many of her songs make me feel things. But having said that, like of course, if I ever get to see her live, I'd go out of my mind because I'm such a big fan. But not if I see, not like, Louis Armstrong or Ella Fitzgerald or Sir. I mean, I'm forgetting the names. Like, just imagining it makes me go crazy. Elton
Yeah,
John.
I
I
mean,
wanted to say Elton John, but yeah, I mean, like I said, like I put them in that god level pedestal where I would, like, I swear, like I would actually go down on my knees and be like, okay, wow, like I've lived my life.
mm, yeah, yeah. I think it's the same for me. Like, obviously I'm one of the biggest Oasis fans. Even have a tattoo.
Yeah,
I don't know if the camera can see it, but uh, Oasis and of course Deep Purple. I think I already spoke about them, and Guns N' Roses and the Beatles and Scorpion and Dire Straits and the Doors, and I mean the list goes on and on and on. Uh, 30 Seconds to Mars, I think, is one of the newer bands that I like. Obviously, you've got Linkin Park, Green Day, and The Fray. I think The Fray is very
yeah.
underrated. The Fray is a really good band also. But yeah, that's pretty much what I listen to. And I mean, I do listen to pop music as well. I do listen to a lot of that stuff, but again, it's just different. It's not the same. Okay, but tell me something, like what if someone who probably feels or probably someone who claims that they feel the same way about, let's say, EDM or new age music, just like the way you feel about about rock and roll and music from that time, what would you say to them? Like, what would you tell them? Or what basically, how would you argue with them?
I think even before saying anything or arguing, my first question would be like, what is it that I mean, what do you feel?
It's the drop, bro. It's the drop.
Oh yeah!
It's
Oh my
it's the
god!
drop.
Oh, you gotta wait for the
That
drop.
was a trick question. If you asked me that question, I would be like, Tell them to fuck off. There's, there's nothing.
No, but okay. So here's the thing.
Mm.
I would ask them, okay, what does it make you feel? Like, what does it make you feel?
Mm.
And I know what they're gonna say. You know why? Because I've asked them
It's the
this.
drop. It's the
No, I've asked them this.
Okay.
So I know the answer.
What's the answer?
The answer is, are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Well, when you're on certain substances and you're like high, oh my god, like you can feel that music inside your system.
I think I've cracked it now. I'll tell you what it is. See, I mean, obviously, all rock and rollers or people, musicians of old, they are guilty of being hard, drug,
Of course.
heavily into drugs and all that, and some of them also claim that that's where the inspiration for their music comes. But if you look at it this way, if those guys were on drugs and this is the kind of music they gave out, so that is probably what exists in the deepest parts of their minds and souls. And if these guys are claiming that they like this kind of music because when they are on these substances, and that tells you the depth of their thinking and the depth of so it starts and it stops. There's nothing there. It's just
different perspective.
Okay, what's your perspective?
Same thing that you said, right? They used to do mind altering substances as well, the artists, and we have listeners now who are doing mind altering substances, and they're like, yeah man, you feel it coursing through your body and all of that. What I feel is this: those artists, they were on these mind altering substances and helped them imagine, make music, and they were making 100% of it and giving it to us. Fantastic, because they're artists. Now what I feel is happening with EDM and all of that, the artists are doing like a 50% thing. And like, here's the 50% of the music. I mean, they know that the listeners are going to be on the mind-altering substances and do the 50% in their head. Make the rest of the music in their head.
Okay, you lost me. I think I like my explanation better. And I think the two people that probably watch this video will also agree.
That's sad.
I think some of your mind is tainted by the new age stuff.
It is. I can't get that out of my head, and I know I promised you I won't. I promised myself as well I won't mention it more than once. But
Charlie Puth.
Yeah, you just want attention. You don't want my heart. Fine.
Nice.
Fuck off. Okay. Great. But okay, I have a question. And
what is your question?
So, so many of these old age songs or old age music are known as classics. Do you think, say, 20, 30 years down the line, any of this stuff will be known as the classics?
Yeah, of course. I'm pretty sure G6 is going to be right up there. And
that's
and your songs, some fucking probably Nicki Minaj song is gonna be up there, and your Billie Eilish's, she's gonna be up there.
Oh, okay, that's another thing. People are gonna hate me for this, but I don't care. People are crazy about this song called "Bad Guy." And I think I've heard it because I was like, what is this craze about? All I could hear was, I'm a bad guy, okay? And the rest of it is just mumbling. Like, it's a mixture of random mumble and random music. And I'm like, really?
I think that's what it is. And there's this song by Britney Spears as well, I think. Was it Britney Spears? I'm not sure. But
which one?
Girls Run the World, Girls Run the World.
Oh, that's
it's just one line on repeat, like
who run the world? Girls.
Yeah.
That's Beyonce.
Yeah. I mean, same shit.
This mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, a lot of her songs are just like a couple of stuff on repeat, but I do love some of her songs because they're peppy.
Yeah, I think that's what I think that's what you get out of this. Like, it's
But yeah, I mean,
It's
the only way it makes me move is like, okay, but
mm.
doesn't make me feel that much. It was like,
Yeah, I think when you said the word peppy, I think it struck me as well that now music is okay. I am probably got back from work or something and I put my earphones on, and for that 1 hour, or I for that half an hour, 1 hour, whatever, I'm listening to my music on my speaker, on my earphones, and that's it. Like after that 1 hour is done, I've got whatever I wanted to get from that music. So I've got my pep talk, I've got my uh, bad bitches and whatever, shake your ass, and
oh,
I've got
single
I've,
ladies.
yeah, I've got that, and now it's done. It's gone.
Yeah.
But what music used to mean, and what it obviously still means to some people, is that it becomes a part of you, right? It becomes a part of your life. It's not just okay, you heard it for 5 minutes and then it's out of your mind. No, it's always there, and uh, it's like yeah, it doesn't leave you, after you're done listening to, or after you're done with your session,
Yeah, that's true.
music
Because
listening session.
so that is the thing, right? Because we heard these songs as kids and that we liked it so much, we were determined to find out, okay, who,
Mm.
how, okay, what else are they making? What are the other songs? What lyrics? We're going to Lens to find that out
Mm.
because we were so hooked to it.
Right.
That's the
And
thing. I don't think that's the case anymore.
yeah, it's also sad that, I mean, you look at these guys that probably you look at any live concerts, right? And you listen to them when on YouTube or Spotify, and even if you think the song is shit, even if you think the music is shit, but you'll be okay, at least he has a nice voice, or at least she has a nice voice, or something like that. But when you hear them live, it's so bad.
It is.
Like they can't sing like that in front of a crowd. They just and most of these people are so bad compared to real life, as and how they sound offline, sorry, online. And I think that's the biggest tragedy.
Another thing, you just sort of sucks to call them artists, I
Mm.
guess.
I was seeing Lollapalooza's lineup.
Yeah.
I've actually never been to it, so I've been to NH7. I think once. I mean, I've seen quite a lot of people live. I think my favorite concert till date was Poets of the Fall, when they came to Kolkata. I think it was a long time ago. Don't even remember how long ago it was, but it was just so insane. I've seen Slash live. I've seen Alt J. I have seen Coldplay, unfortunately. I've seen Ed Sheeran as well.
Like lighting the matches.
Yeah, but yeah, that concert. I mean, the concert then was something basic, like so when I went for Poets of the Fall, back in the day, when you see how people take their phones and they
Yeah.
they wave it around in the sky. People used to do that with lighters back in the day, and
Wow.
that's how my Poets of the Fall concert went. Everyone took out their lighters from their pockets, and I mean, I obviously that might not sound like much, but it's like raw,
Yeah.
it's primal, and not everyone just taking out their iPhones and flashing their torches. Uh, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like there's so much story. There's so much behind music that was made back then. I was actually checking, like, so that's another thing. Because we love those kind of music so much, we actually go the extra mile to
Mm.
know more about the artist and know more about the song, in fact. So, which is also like what I did when I heard.
Yeah, I mean, okay, sorry, I'm gonna
No,
cut you
that's
off, but yeah, I mean, I think this is another good point that you're making. Like, so if let's say you heard "Smoke on the Water," right, or if you heard Don McLean's "American Pie," which says "Bye, bye, Miss American Pie," you go back and you see what the lyrics are about, right?
yeah.
So first, obviously, you create your own interpretation of what the lyrics might mean, but then you definitely go and Google, what the lyrics meant. Uh, but if you listen to anything which is pop, considered pop music these days, if you listen to the lyrics, Charlie Puth again,
You
or
don't you
yeah, I
only want
mean,
attention.
you're not going to Google what the lyrics mean
Yeah.
because it's right there in front of you, right? I
Exactly.
mean, it's
And there's no story.
Yeah, and it's just so surface level. There's
Extremely.
nothing there which is which makes you think, which feeds your soul, right? Which
It's more like spoon feeding. Here you go.
it's not. I don't even know if it's spoon feed. It's just basic. I think that's the word.
Yeah, it's extremely basic, but it's like, okay, you know what? Dated a girl, just wanted attention, didn't want my heart. Sad. But yeah, as I was saying, so when I had first heard Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen,
Mm.
um, so first I think obviously the voice, as I mentioned, then the music, then the lyrics, fantastic. Like I fell in love. But then I was like, what is he talking about? Like he's talking about like tied me to the kitchen chair, cutting off the hair and all of that. I'm like there must be something more.
Mm.
Because he's saying like David struck a chord, and I'm like, okay, what's happening? So I googled it,
Mm.
and it was like it's almost like falling down a rabbit hole, because what I realized is so I think there are like two stories from the Bible,
Mm.
and which he talks about in that song. And later I also got to know as I further researched. And once again, I'm doing all of this research because of how much I love his songs and how much I love his voice. Turns out, because he was Jewish back then, when he actually sang this song, he wrote it. They did not want to record it.
Mm.
Like whichever recording company he was working with, they didn't want to record it because they were like, "No, we're not gonna do it. You're doing this for like because you're Jewish.
Mm.
Like you're just doing that." And some people also said that yes, it has like it talks about religion and religious stories and all of that. But then there were people who were like, well, it actually talks about an orgasm. I mean, just imagine the range, and people are talking about it because
Yeah.
it's worthy of that. And then God knows how many. There have been some 30 or 40 different versions of Hallelujah,
Mm.
and it took a long time for people to accept it. But I mean, people put him and the song on a pedestal now because it is a classic. It's fantastic.
But the story is missing. I think that's what it is. The
Yeah.
story is missing. The depth is missing. The whatever you
That's yeah,
that's missing.
yeah.
But yeah,